Have you ever looked at some artwork and wondered, why is it priced the way it is? Are you an artist looking to sell your art and you're not sure what price to charge for your artwork? Or are you wanting to change mediums and you're not quite sure what to charge for this new body of work? Then today's video is for you. Let's take the mystery out of art pricing. So I'm Dena Tollefson and I want to welcome you to my studio. I'm so glad that you're here today. So in today's video, I'm going to be going over the comparison model of how to price your artwork to sell. So this comparison method is ideal if you are new to selling art or if you have made a major shift in your art practice. So what is a major shift in your art practice? Well, here are a couple examples. Let's say that you are currently making sculpture and all of a sudden now you're like, hey, I've been making sculpture, I want to start making oil paintings. But the question is what am I going to charge for this new body of work? So another example of a shift in your art practice could be, let's say that currently you're making watercolors and either selling watercolors or maybe you haven't sold watercolors yet, but you'd like to switch over and start doing digital art. So the question is, what should I charge for my digital artwork? That would be an example of another change, making a shift in your art practice. There's a sweet spot for art pricing where you charge enough that you're making it worthwhile for you as an artist, but you're also making it enticing, the price is enticing for art collectors, and so they're not, scared away. Knowing where to start your art prices can be very tricky, especially if you've never made any art sales, or if you're established and now you're switching to a whole different art practice. Well, I am here to help. So you're going to want to be sure to watch all the way through this video. I'm giving some super important strategies and ideas for your pricing that are really going to help you price your artwork to sell and grow your art career. If you are new to my channel, welcome, and if you're coming back, welcome back, and I'm so glad that you're here. So I hope that you'll do me a favor and subscribe and ring that notification bell so that you never miss any new content that will help your art career grow. So I'm a professional artist, I'm a full-time artist, and I've been selling my artwork through galleries for the past 23 years. Here's an example of my artwork. I also do art licensing. The trick and the heart behind the comparison method of art pricing. So you're going to compare your artwork to a local artist, local to you, who has the same level of name recognition as you. So what you're going to do is try and find a local artist to compare to, and try and find someone who's doing the same medium. And by medium we mean, like, is it oil painting, is it sculpture, is it jewelry, what is it, glass making? Try and find someone who's doing the same medium as you. So try and find someone similar, and ideally even try and find the same subject matter or the same type of art. Like, is it abstract? Is it realism? Is it landscape? Is it caricatures? Is it portraits? The same type of, basically the same type of subject. The really important thing to know here is that art sales and art prices are not based on skill level. They are really based on the artist's reputation and the artist's name recognition. So the key then is when you're looking to compare with that local artist around you, you're going to look and see, are they on the same level of me as in name recognition? Okay, so let's say as an example, you've got artist Yoshi and you've got artist Frank, and you are looking and comparing and trying to decide if you should compare your work against Yoshi or you should compare your work against Frank. So let's say that you're doing the comparison model and Yoshi does watercolor and Yoshi is a local artist to you locally, and Yoshi makes similar sized work to you. You make 11 by 14s and 16 by 20s and so does Yoshi. And we're also going to say that Yoshi is of a similar level of fame as you are. Now your fame level could be that your friends know you, your grandma knows you, your aunt knows you, and your kids know you. And that's one level of fame. And on the other end of fame could be that you are Pablo Picasso and known internationally over decades. So that's along the continuum between a relatively unknown artist and Pablo Picasso. Everybody fits somewhere along that continuum. But the important thing to know is that whether you are a relatively unknown artist or you are Pablo Picasso, literally everybody, and this should be comforting to know this, literally every artist, even the super famous ones, started out at a zero level of fame, zero level of recognition, and their name, people didn't know who they were. Everybody started with zero level of sales. Everybody had to make their first art sale. So it is super comforting to know that everybody starts out at the beginning. Well, think of it like a singer. It's not always the best singer who gets the record deals and the million downloads. A lot of it has to do with perseverance. Who gets their name out there? Who does the marketing? Who has the willingness to make that sale? Okay, so let's say, continuing on in our example, let's say that Frank is known internationally across multiple continents. Let's say Frank does large pieces of work. So the big thing to notice or take comparison with is how much name recognition do you have compared to the artists that you're comparing to. And then you also are going to want to compare sizes. So let's say that you are making small work and you are known locally, then Yoshi might be a good person to compare your prices with. But let's say instead, let's say that you are famous across several continents and you're also making large work, then Frank would be the one that you want to compare prices against. But it's all these things in between that are important considerations as well. The size, the medium, the subject, and most importantly, the level of fame or name recognition, whatever you want to call it, the level of notoriety that you have as an artist. That is really going to be the key to compare with these other artists when you're setting your prices. Take a look at how famous or not famous is that artist compared to you, and then go in and take a look at their prices. So things to look at when you're looking at the prices are, is it framed or unframed if it's a painting? If it is framed, that's something that you'll want to consider because framing adds cost to you because you have to buy the frame. But if you include that in your pricing, then what's nice is you can also charge more for your work. And try to match it up by looking at the prices. So compare the two sizes. Say compare like a 16 by 20 to a 16 by 20. Compare a 30 by 40 to a 30 by 40 or something close, so that you can be sure that you're comparing apples to apples. So if the artist is represented by an art gallery, you can look online, you could go in person to the gallery, and then look on the wall. They'll have the prices on the wall. If you're looking online, they should have the price and the size of the artwork. If you're making sculptures, is it a similar material, similar size, similar number of castings, or is it unique? And if you're doing giclées or prints, again, try and find someone that's similar and compare by size. Now, oftentimes you'll find that works on paper are priced lower than, for example, works on canvas. But that is not always true depending on the artist. You can have some very famous artists who are commanding exorbitant prices for what looks like very simple work. And then you could have another artist who maybe is not as well known, who's doing very complex work, very technical work, very masterful work. But their prices are lower. And again, it really is all about that name recognition. And that might seem really unfair, but that's the way it is. And in today's video, we're working on making you a famous artist, or if you prefer, a not so famous artist with really excellent pricing. So again, the key here is don't necessarily focus on the skill level of the artist that you're comparing to and the comparison model, but really consider their name recognition when you're doing that comparison. So I hope this comparison model has been helpful for you. If you haven't already watched it, be sure to watch part 1, which is do's and don'ts of art pricing to sell, and then also watch part 3, which is next, which is going to be I'll go through in step-by-step how to do the time and materials method of pricing. And that might be the method for you. So it's important to really kind of look at all the different methods, and then you'll determine which pricing or combination of price methods work best for you for your studio practice. Tons of great information you're not going to want to miss. So until next time, it's Dena Tollefson. All my best to you.